Woo-wee. Good morning, market snipers. Welcome back. This is Jesse. We are getting started right at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right on the dot as usual. Sometimes we're a little bit late, sometimes we're early, but this time we are perfectly on time. Hope everyone had a good long weekend. Uh, Meant to have a live stream on Friday, and I posted on X, you know, is it my Wi-Fi or Elon's Wi-Fi that's down? So turned out my Wi-Fi was still good, but we could not do the live stream on Friday, unfortunately. And we are trying to do a live stream every single day that the stock market is open. Yesterday was a holiday, and therefore there was no live stream. So with that, good morning, market snipers. If you're new, awesome, welcome. If you're returning like Lawrence, even better. Good to see you back on here, Lawrence. London, UK, not so sexy news. It's fun to read it out loud every single time. So uh, help me, help you, help me with the algorithms. Smash the like button, repost this stream, share with friends and family, and I would appreciate it. Helps out a lot, and keeps the live streaming. So on the first half of the live stream, we will cover Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks, anything else that jumps out at us on the watch list. Second half of the live stream, we will cover your chart requests. Just make sure to put them in early. Early birds get the worm. Going to try to keep this live stream to about an hour and not let it ramble on for an hour and a half, 2 hours like in the past, or 3 hours in the past. Once I get going, I can keep talking. Where is my face underscore IG? Sell pending. Does that mean that the run up is done with? We're going to cover it. We'll get into it all. Don't worry. But on the second half, when we were doing chart requests, make sure to put in the ticker symbol. Let me know what type of asset it is, the asset class. Is it crypto? Is it stocks? Sometimes the ticker symbol is overlapped. Put in the full asset name, if it's Apple, whatever. Obviously, Apple, I know that one, but there's tens of thousands of stocks and cryptos, and they might overlap. And I don't want to sit there and spend 5 minutes searching for one and then start to chart one and find out it's not even the right one, right? So help me keep the live streaming. So with that, let's jump right in. Sell signals are firing across BTC and indices. There are pending sell signal on Bitcoin. There's a pending sell signal on the S&P 500 futures. They flip from pending to actual sell signals once the candle is closed. So at the end of the day, crypto, that's about, what is that, 7 hours from now, roughly. And on futures, that would be 5 hours from now, roughly. So those all flip from pending sell signals to actual sell signals. So we're going to cover all of that. On January 15th, 5 days ago, what was that? Thursday? I don't know. Thursday, maybe. The last live stream that we had, we talked about, is it possible that the relief rally is over? Yes. I gave one reason why it is over, and I gave one reason why it's not over. So we'll do a quick recap on that as well. But we did cover that on January 15th. Since January 15th, well, the January 14th run up and tagged that target that I'm talking about, let's just put the chart back on. January 14th, price came up and hit this target. The reason why we talked about it on January 15th, right after that happened, is that Bitcoin hit, spoiler alert, Bitcoin hit the same exact target as Bitcoin hit January 2022 on the relief rally. On one of the exchanges, on Coinbase exchange, multiple exchanges. One reason why it may have further upside is that that same target is higher. There's two targets that are in this box. There's more than that. There's two major targets why I drew this box and price hit it. Two major reasons. But there's more reasons than that, right? One of the two reasons on one of the exchanges is up higher because it's a moving target, right? And so there was a reason why we could see price higher. Now, it's not just because we're going to see a candle close below the trailing dots, just because we're going to see a sell signal doesn't 100% mean that the relief rally is over. It just means that the probabilities continue to increase. And if you're going to take a short position, there's always a risk that it was a fake out. It could find support. And instead of rolling over, it could go back up and hit that target, right? So it's never going to be 100% accurate, ever. Never going to be 100% accurate. So we're just trying to stack the probabilities in our favor. The overall trend is down, so we have to lean that way. The weekly chart is bearish still. The weekly chart, the 2-week chart, the 3-week chart, and the monthly chart all had reversal signals on the higher time frames. We still have to lean that way. Down over here, we were talking about we're expecting relief rally, right? We're expecting a relief rally. Over here, we're expecting a relief rally. Over here, we're expecting a relief rally. Relief, 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 relief. Finally starting to feel like a rally, come back down. Finally starting to feel like a rally, come back down. So it's been a relief for sure. It's been a relief. From this big move down of 36%, there was relief. The relief lasted 54 days, and it was a 21% bounce. So there was a relief rally. We talked about that I didn't think it was going to be as high of a bounce. We hoped for 25 to 30%, but we didn't think it was going to be a 40 to 45% bounce similar to 2022. Why? Because the initial drop of 36% was a lot less percentage drop than 2022 when it dropped 50 something percent. I posted it over here. Let's get the numbers right. Let's look at this one, right? So we laid out the reasons why price had hit the same target as 2022. And let's go to this one then. So the comparison. This was posted on January 15th, 8 a.m. And then we had the live stream at 9 a.m. Is Bitcoin's relief rally over? 2022 versus 2026 comparison. Initial drop 52%, 2026 36% drop. So based off of that larger drop in 2022 versus 2026, a 36% drop, I was expecting a lower percentage rally. So after the 52% drop, Bitcoin rallied, I think 45% wick to wick. And that wick to wick was 63 days. And it still hit the two key retracement target areas, which is the most important to me, right? Both were hit. Two just hit, except that one exchange. That one exchange, it hit one out of the two. So call it 1.5. It was 1.5 on the one exchange. But multiple exchanges, it hit both the exact same targets, right? And yes, it was 9 days shorter, right? And yes, the initial drop was 16% less. So expecting lesser bounces when the drop is lesser to the downside. So That's the 2022 versus 2026 comparison. It's always been a relief rally, in my opinion. It's always just been a bounce, in my opinion, not just because I'm a perma bear, is I'm by far not a perma bear. 2023, you would have probably called me a perma bull. 2024, perma bull, uh, until the end of 2024, and then start looking for reasons why the top could start to be in or could be in, and then 2025 we saw the drop, and then there was one last push up. So here we are. Here we are. So lesser to the downs. So it was lesser to the upside on the bull run, percentage wise, compared to 2021. Then it was lesser to the downside on the initial drop, lesser to the downside on the initial drop, and then lesser on the relief rally, lesser on the relief rally. So that's fully what I expected. 25 to 30%. Got 21%. Expected, 32 to 40%. We got 36%. Yep. Almost every single live stream we talked about that many would be disappointed on, and posts too, not just the live streams, but we talked about many would be disappointed of how high this rally is, right? I was thinking we could get at least to 100,000. That's a strong psychological value, and then pull the rug. But we stay neutral overall, right? You got to see the chart as it is. Keep in mind the chart comparisons, and do the best to our ability of calling it out in real time. Because we never know exactly how it's going to play out. And this was a trend line that it's breaking down from. This was the more aggressive trend line, but just to keep the chart cleaner looking, I removed it, right? I removed it. So some were hoping for, when price was getting up to $96,000, some were hoping for a relief rally up to $110,000. And I said very confidently and very adamantly that I really do not think we're going to hit $110,000. I talked about way back here that I think this is the last time you're going to be able to sell your $110,000 Bitcoin for a very long time. And since those comments, it's been 3 months since I talked about that. So 3 months since you would be able to sell your Bitcoin at $110,000. And I think it's going to be a while, right? I think it's going to be a while. It would probably be like if we went back in time to 2022, similar would be like 2024. So 2027, 2028, I don't know. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But right now, overall, it is breaking down. This would be the first candle close below the train dots on this sell signal. We do still have this upward trend line, so we could get a reaction. We could get a bounce, and it could look like a mini head and shoulders, right? Could look like a mini head and shoulders. The last Bitcoin mini head and shoulders played out to the downside and then some, right? So that gets you back down to the lows over here, $84,000. This mini head and shoulders over here worked out, like I talked about, even on HODL. And then some. So we talked about that mini head and shoulders, and it played out, bounced, and then came down further. So if it does build this little head and shoulders, right, could come down like this, bounce, bottom is in crew again, and then finish out, right? And then continue lower. So if it plays out to have another mini head and shoulders similar to over here that we talked about, similar to this head, actually it was this head and shoulders over here that I was calling out as well. It was this head and shoulders. It wasn't actually that one. Pretty sure. Yeah. I'd have to look at my posts, but if you've been following my posts, you know. So that head and shoulders played out. Yeah, it was this one. But yeah, that was kind of a mini one too. That head and shoulders played out. This would be another mini head and shoulders, would bring price down to 84,000, down to this wick, and this area over here. Like I said, bounce again and then continue lower. So we'll see. We will see if that plays out or not. Too early to 100% call that yet, but we are speculating. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. Obviously, it's for educational purposes only. And hopefully you find a little bit of entertainment along the way, like making fun of me for my pronunciations, me not having the mic on for 20 minutes. That happened one time. So with that, that's Bitcoin. We're going to cover the SP 500, the NASDAQ, all have pending sell signals as well. Quick recap of weekly chart is still bearish. We're in a fresh new candle. Take a little sip of water over here. We are in a fresh weekly candle, but that candle was ugly. It wicked very close to hitting the trending dots, not from the last trending dots, but now it looks like, you know, since the trending dots have come down lower, it got very close to hitting those trending dots. I was expecting, you know, price to retest it, but it didn't, right? We were even thinking that it's possible that it goes up higher, closes above, gets everyone bullish, and then rug pulls them all the way back to the 200-week moving average, right? We talked about that. We covered it. We talked about it. We covered it. We talked about it. But again, it was lesser to the downside. So the relief rally could be lesser to the downside, meaning that we don't actually see price get back above the trending dots or $100,000, right? And this would be a bearish engulfing candle. If it were to close like that, it's so early in the week. We don't know yet. But if it were to close like this, obviously it could close lower. It would be a bearish engulfing candle, and that's not bullish. So that's where we're at right now. This also could be a head and shoulders, right? And that would bring you back down to the longer term targets. So that's a weekly chart. The 2-week chart remains bearish. Trading dots are flipping over, right? Haven't seen that since when? 2022. 3-week chart continues to be bearish, well below the trading dots. Eventually, we're going to see the trading dots get retested. When? We don't know. It's still possible the rally is not over yet. Over here, we had sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, right? We had sell, buy, sell so far. Then a buy, then another sell, right? So according to the 3-week chart, still the relief rally still might not be over. It is possible. Monthly chart, battling the trading dots, didn't flip. The trading dots didn't flip bearish all the way until like July 2022. So it's extremely lagging on that. Extremely lagging. But we did have long-term bearish divergence followed by an RSI sell signal. You can see buy signals and sell signals don't happen very often. Same with the MACD. There was a bearish MACD crossover. So price pushed all the way up, creating a wick, and closing back below is not a bullish signal, right? So those are all the reasons why. And of course, you have a RSI pending sell signal, MACD bearish crossover on the daily chart as well. So that's Bitcoin. We're going to keep going. Let's take a look at some of the altcoins where the bounces might be over already as this is XRP. XRP already had a sell signal, tagged a couple of the targets, right? We were expecting to find support and take off, but once it starts closing below the trending dots, then when do you consider to close your position, right? Or are you scaling out, knowing that it's just a bounce and relief rally? If you played this to the upside, are you taking 25, 50% off the table and then closing your position or closing the remaining position? You have to decide what your exit strategy is. But then there's a sell signal, and now price is dropping back below. And that bullish divergence was played out, right? Let's see. Where's Ethereum? Oh, I missed it. Ethereum. Was that it? Similar thoughts as Bitcoin, a bounce until proven otherwise. Here we are. Let's change directions. It doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. Let's see if we can find a support for the bulls to hold hope onto. So breaking trend lines over here, and could be a candle close below the trading dots, and could also put in a mini head and shoulders, right? So we'll see. But pending sell signal on. I'll just move it out of the way. So we can see it. Oh. And what else? Cardano, one target, cleared the bullish divergence. Adios. All go. Didn't even hit a target. Bounce until proven otherwise. It was a bounce until proven otherwise. Not a great bounce, but a bounce, right? 15% bounce. That was it. H bar. But, I had closed that position even on the portal a while back, right? I closed it with it was under a 7% gain. So on a 15% move, roughly, I locked in 7% and closed it in the setup portal. It was 7%. And I was like, well, that was back over here. And I was like, maybe I miss out. Maybe it finds support similar to Bitcoin and it goes higher. But I didn't re-enter. I would have liked a stronger reaction after this long consolidation, after a breakout of the longer term trend line. And I wasn't going to try to force it. So I didn't like it. So I closed at 7%. It was 6 point something, almost 7%, rounded up to 7%. It was like 6 something. I don't know. I have to look. Hindsight, it was a good idea. At the time, I was like, that's disappointing. Oh, XLM, H bar. Oh, come on. That was it. That was it. Near. Ooh. If you're hitting buy buttons, don't forget to have an exit strategy and hit a sell exit button. Let's see what else. MicroStrategy. We're gonna hit the indices still. Bullish divergence starting to break out. Higher low. Buy signal came all the way back up, cleared the bullish divergence, hit 191. The bullish divergence we were talking about was way back here, 150. Went all the way to 191 after pointing out the bullish divergence. 23% bounce. Could have gone higher, sure, but it didn't. But the thesis was bounce and then come back and retest the 200-week moving average and below, according to the weekly charts. So, getting to the indices, NASDAQ, you have a pending sell signal on the NASDAQ. You do have a gap here. So being aware that that gap could be closed now or later. It's a small gap. I think it's like, I have to look at it on 1 hour chart probably. It's not a huge gap. Less than 1%. So it may or may not get filled in the short term. Maybe in the long term, obviously, it'll eventually get filled. And then similar with the SP 500, they look very similar. So we talked about it. We covered it. This is bearish divergence. This was the high, October 29th. Still, so, October 31st. No, October 30th. We'll get it right. We'll get it right. Was the high, October 30th. And it's still the high. So bearish divergence, create a lower low. This is starting to look like a lower high. And it won't even be confirmed until you close below this pivot point. But if you're waiting for that, you're already way behind the 8 ball. So those targets are still valid from October 30th. So one target's been hit so far, starting to roll over, break down. Doesn't look as much like a wedge, but you could probably draw out a wedge, right? So may even be able to call that an Adam and Eve double top pattern, similar to the MicroStrategy weekly chart. It's probably more of an Adam and Eve. And if you wanted to, break this, you get candle closes below there, then that target would play out more like a higher probability, right? So the probabilities continue to increase that we're going to be going lower. So that does look like an Adam and Eve double top pattern, similar to MicroStrategy's weekly chart. So we drew that out. Way back here, way back in September. We talked about the top was in all the way since the bearish engulfing candle, November 2024. So similar thoughts, right? And that's how we came up with that target all the way down here. And we posted that target back here. I don't know the exact, I'd have to look. And since then, price has come back down 55% since that post. So it does look kind of like that on the NASDAQ, right? Daily chart. Sharp move. Rounded. Adam Eve double top pattern. It's kind of the first of noticing it was live. While we're completely completely speculating over here. Let's clean some of this up. This was the rising wedge. So it looks different than the NASDAQ. It went higher. So you still had the bearish divergence, lower low, but then you had additional bearish divergence. And then this was looking like a sneaky lower high. You can see it a little bit better on the lines, right? So you have bearish divergence called out on the actual indicator. Looks like a lower high. Looks like a lower high. Mini head and shoulders. Mini head and shoulders, right? Several reasons why to roll over. Pending sell signal on the daily chart for RSI. Pending sell signal on the daily chart. And so the rising wedge, the bearish divergence, all of that. SP 500, pending sell signal. Again, another small gap over here as well. And maybe Bitcoin's relief rally would have been higher, maybe 25 to 30%, maybe not. But since the indices are rolling over, SP 500, NASDAQ, blah, 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 then, Bitcoin's going to roll over too, right? Even though it led the way in October and has had a bigger correction so far, expect it to go down with SP 500 and NASDAQ. So if the NASDAQ and SP 500 are dropping 10, 20, 30, whatever percent it is, expect Bitcoin to drop more. So the VIX gapped up. No surprise, right? No surprise. Had a buy signal, was gaining support over here. And then the SP 500 and NASDAQ futures all started to drop down on Sunday. It gapped Sunday night for me. I don't know what time it is for you. Could be Monday, could be Sunday. But the SP 500 and NASDAQ futures gap down. And so we expect the VIX to gap up in after hours because the futures already were doing it, right? So huge gap up too. So we're looking at, it was like a 25% gap up if you look at the 1 hour chart. %, right? So 25% gap up. It is bullish. So volatility has come back into the market. It was starting to find support. Candle closes above the trailing dots. Buy signal closing above the trailing dots. Trailing dots are curling up and then gap up, right? So we weren't taken by surprise. We watch it unfold in real time. Let's look at the Magnificent Seven. ANF didn't give us this entry. All right, get over it, Jesse. Okay, I'm over it. Gap down in TQQQ. No surprise. Already had a sell signal on the daily chart. SMCI still holding on, but caution is now trade each chart individually. The overall market is correcting, right? This bullish divergence has been cleared. It is possible that was it for the bounce. It's possible it doesn't bounce any higher, right? And now you have another pending flashing on off pending sell signal. Remember, the cautions were the weekly chart is bearish. The higher time frames are bearish. Prices below the 200-week moving average. Yes, there was bullish divergence, and now that bullish divergence is cleared. It's possible none of these targets get hit. It's possible. The overall market's correcting too. NVIDIA looking like a lower high over here. The thesis is the thesis. Figure that one out. Tesla. Came back up, got rejected, and now is gap back below. So we're losing trend lines. We lost trending dots back on December 29th. There was bearish divergence. This is looking like a lower high. We were waiting and looking for a lower high as like additional confirmation. We were looking at below this trend line was looking like distribution, right? Wyckoff distribution. And we had that back over here, sell signal. This trend line was over here like this, the more aggressive one. And we said below all of that, right? This is the adjusted. So probably could draw some targets for people if people are interested. What else? What else? Wyckoff distribution, bearish divergence, looking like the lower high. This is a lower low. So lower low. Well, it made another high up here. So low, lower high. This would confirm that lower low over here with a close below this pivot point. Amazon, pending sell signal. Meta continues to fill gaps. Apple, I can call my mom and say, I told you so, from exiting her 30% position over here. She had a 30% gain. I said, let's close it. I was like, see, told you. Then it went higher and higher and higher and higher. She's like, we could have got it. We could have gotten more. I'm like, here we go, mom. And now I can call her up and be like, I told you we should have gotten out of the Apple, right? In hindsight. So this gap was just filled. Gap filled. So we'll flip it to green. Getting oversold on the daily chart, but can remain that way. And sometimes when the magic happens, right? Starting to get oversold, 265, and now it's down $15. What else? Dow Jones, Russell. That was unstoppable. Remember the Russell that we're going to go to the moon, right? It's possible this is the high. We don't know. It's way too early. Way too early. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Trade each chart individually. PLTR flat, but still bearish on the daily chart. Netflix flat as of right now, but is already down big, right? Big correction so far. 35%. Expect bounces along the way. Could be a short term or could be a local bottom, but too early to say as of right now. That's about it on the Magnificent Seven. So with that, let's look at some of the chart requests. Where are we at? How are we doing time? Oh, we're doing pretty good on time over here. Let's see. Dusk. Lawrence, you got it. Dusk. So Dusk, USDT. On Binance. There you go. That's the one. I am on swing short from 29 cents, but I'm currently looking for scalp longs. Okay. You're on a swing short from 29 cents, The daily chart is ultra bullish. You can see that got very wicky up here at 33 cents. Still bullish. Yeah, go back to the beginning of the live stream. I covered it for like 30 minutes. But hello. Yep. Covered Bitcoin for about at least 25, 30 minutes. So you must be on a really low time frame, but it's counter trading as of right now. Ultra bullish on the daily chart, ultra bullish on the weekly chart. Three-week chart has a pending buy signal. Two-week chart, bullish, back above the 200-week moving average. 1 hour chart had a nice pullback, right? 44% pullback. Could have a deeper pullback. 5-minute chart. I mean, I don't know how low of a time frame you're going, but however the price action plays out, could be something like that. Let's see, that was January 18th. So I don't know what time frame you're on. Probably a really low time frame. What else? I'm not sure if you have any follow-up questions on that. Let's see. ZBCN. By the way, thanks for putting all the details in, Lawrence. I appreciate that. That helps out a lot. ZBCN, crypto, ZBank. Yeah, if you ever want to know if you want the exact exchange or whatever that you want me to chart, put that in the notes, kind of like London, UK, not so sexy news. And are you long or you short, whatever, the more the details, the better. ZBEC. So that's 1 hour chart, daily chart. Yeah, a lot of them, the bounce, the sell signals are back below the trading dots. This could be next, right? It's possible the bounce is over, but got rejected at the trending dots on the weekly chart. Even though Bitcoin did not hit the trending dots, we expected Bitcoin to get rejected and or even if it closed above to reverse back around from a bounce. So it's possible that bounce is over and we go lower. But the weekly chart still remains bearish. The daily chart could flip back bearish. And I don't know what time frame you're trading on or looking at, but the 4-hour chart is already reversed. You had bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart, a lower high, and now price is just heading downward. So looks similar to the other altcoins that we already covered too. Thank you. Yep. Thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate it. So no more questions there. Let's go back over to Bitcoin. Take a look at it. Ooh, below $90,000. Below $90,000. Let's look at one of the exchanges that this was the 1.5, right? So did hit the same 1.5 targets over here. Did not hit that other target up here that was similar to 2022. But on all the other exchanges, it did. So this is the only, Binance is the only one. But right, breaking down from the upward trend line, losing trend lines. Bulls have a little bit of hope left, but the probabilities are increasing. And you can see that the trading dots could start to roll over like that. And so this would actually probably be more like this. Right? So I'm going to leave that as that, which we already drew on one of the other exchanges, or on the Coinbase one, right? 89,400. Remember when Tom Lee and all the talking heads said 250,000 by the end of 2025, and it was October, and I was already talking about the reversal and the Wyckoff distribution. Remember when the same talking head moved the goalpost that by the end of January we were going to see $180,000 Bitcoin? Here it is, January 20th, and Bitcoin is below $90,000. So it's all noise. It's all news. It's all narratives. We block that out, and we trust what we see on the charts. We trust what we see on the charts. So Bitcoin's taking out this pivot point over here as well. Doesn't look great. Maybe it doesn't even put in a bounce. Could just come down, puts in a lower high over here with a back test. So let's see. Oof. So weekly chart, hodl. Ouch. Could be additional bullish divergence, maybe not, but it was cleared. The bullish divergence was cleared. So let's just remove it for now. And it's in a clear downtrend until proven otherwise, right? So you just know that it's a downtrend until it's not. This is Bitcoin versus gold, right? Downtrend until proven otherwise. Dang, new lows for Bitcoin versus gold. Wow. Incredible. Always a bounce until proven otherwise. Right? What do you think? Is that a bear flag? Let's see if we can draw this out a little bit better. Bum, bum. That's a pretty big flag, but the pole still seems longer, right? Yeah, we already had that drawn out. So Possible bear flag, penny sell signal. Woo-wee. Let's look at the weekly chart with the fractal that we've been watching. This was posted October 10th. This was not posted recently. This was originally posted October 10th. However this plays out. Do we have it in log? Yes. Okay. There we go. After the relief rally, we're expecting price come back and hit target, longer term target 3. Price has hit 2 longer term targets so far. We expect target 3 to get hit maybe by April, maybe beforehand, right? It seems to be ahead of schedule to the downside, the relief rally, and so on and so on, right? So maybe before April, maybe March or February, comes down and hits target 3. Maybe before the end of April, early May, comes down and price comes down and retest the 200-week moving average. That is the main thesis. In 2022, price did come down and hit target 4. In 2022, price did come down and hit target 5. So those are still on the table, however it plays out. The main thesis is the 200-week moving average. In the past, we've seen Bitcoin go 30% below, which would be target 5, right? Or lower. Let's see what else. Let's see. So, and the one asterisk, the one reason why Bitcoin could even be more bearish than this, which I've talked about many, many times. This is my main thesis. Not that we're going to go see new all-time highs. That we're going to go down and retest the 200-week moving average. As time goes on and the chart unfolds in real time, I will adjust the thesis if it's going to be continue to be lower, hitting target 4, possibly hitting target 5. If the overall stock market indices like the NASDAQ and the SP 500 are in a longer, bigger market correction similar to 2008 or similar to the dot-com bubble correction, which we have not seen in a very long time, and Bitcoin has never seen it in its history of Bitcoin, then I would think that Bitcoin would have an even greater correction, which means lower than target 5. But that's a big if. We don't know for sure. They could just print us right out of it again, like they did. Even though there's a big correction in 2008, they printed us out of it. 2022, they printed us out of it. They could print us out of it again, which is not good for buying things at the market, at the real like food markets and all that stuff, but would be good for assets going up. So we will see. We will see how it plays out. That's that one thing. This is my main thesis, unless there's a bigger stock market correction, then we could see even further downside to Bitcoin. Do I think it goes to 0? Absolutely not. I do not think it goes to 0. But could it go lower than target 5? Sure. That's why we're going to wait to buy the right dip. So obviously none of this financial advice, right? But this is why I don't dollar cost average all the way down, because it could keep going down. It may not recover for a lot longer than what we think. Just if you forget, just go to any of the altcoins. It's always a possibility. It's always a possibility, no matter how much you love an asset, no matter what the earnings are. And we're gonna tie this all back into path. We'll tie it all in the path. No matter how good the earnings are, no matter how good you think the company is or the asset is, it could always go lower. And it may not ever make a new all-time high for a very long time, right? This is still on log. Let's get off the log for a second. Right? Cardano has not made a new all-time high since August 2021, as an example. Chainlink has not made a new all-time high since May 2021. Ethereum barely made a new all-time high in August 2025. Just a couple of examples, right? One stock example is going to be Intel. Intel, look at all the earnings on Intel. Positive earnings, positive earnings, positive earnings, positive earnings the whole entire time. And Intel, from this latest correction of January 2020, right? Let's see. Wick to wick was 1,903 days. And there are positive earnings on it, right? 74% drop. Going all the way back to August 2000, Intel Corporation, the dot-com bubble, for whatever reasons unknown to me, had 84% drop and has never made a new all-time high. Maybe it goes on a run now, and maybe it will make a new all-time high. But we're looking at 9,260 days, 1,323 weeks. Intel has not made a new all-time high, and you saw all the positive earnings, right? You can say it's for X, Y, Z reasons. Now, there was an epic rally, right? Epic rally. Even going from the buy signal down here on the monthly chart, 260% rally. I guess it's not great, 260% over a 5 or a 10-year period. I guess it's not great. It's been a lot better since, down here, 100% within like 4 or 5 months. That's a better rally. But there's never a guarantee. Intel Corporation is telling you that it's never made a new all-time high since the dot-com bubble of 2000. So if Intel Corporation can go through something like that, and they're still churning positive earnings on a majority, it's possible that other assets also don't. So with that, let's switch over to Path. Path has been in a bear market since, what was that? May 2021, and had an 89% drop. And look at all those positive earnings, right? Nothing but positive earnings. And it's still going through a correction. We retested. Trending dot is finally green, but it could still take some time to play out. How long? We don't know. We don't have a magic crystal ball. So when I posted this Path chart setup in our website portal, I closed it out with a 6% loss because we don't know how long, right? So I'm a swing trader. there's a lot of reasons why we could see path come up here like this, but it's back below the 200-week moving average. When I posted it, price was above the 200-week moving average. The monthly chart was pending a buy signal in the month of January. It was pending a buy signal. There was a lot of reasons why. The weekly chart was still bullish, right? Since then, the weekly chart flipped back bearish, right? So when I posted this, there was a buy signal, and then I closed it out when there was a pending sell. It did not look right. We're back below the trading dots, and I closed it out with a 6% loss, right? So, and then we were talking about, as I closed it out, that there is a gap down here at $15, and that gap's been filled. So I've been talking about it, right? Close below the upward trend line. There was a sell signal, back below the trading dots, all of that. Filled that gap. Could it be putting in a higher low? Sure. Could it come back retest? Sure. Could the monthly chart flip back around maybe next month? Yes, all that is possible. So longer term, I'm still expecting path to have a rally. The timing is a whole different scenario. So we'll just do the best of our ability to look for a reversal and play said reversal. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But by taking a 6% loss, I can patiently wait for another setup to present itself or find a different setup, right? Or find a different setup, which we're actively looking for every single day, which leads me to our website portal, right? So we're actively, market snappers are actively looking for the next setup. This setup happens to be a bearish setup. So we're looking for, I was looking for bearish setups and found FEUS, where there was bearish divergence on RSI. This is our screener. So if you're unaware of that, then you go over here to home, and you find the website, marketsniper.pro, right? And on the website, you come over here, learn more about it. We only have one option, $49 a month, includes everything. It's screener is actually 8,000 plus stocks, crypto, and ETFs. It's over 8,000. So continuing to update it. But here are the features, not futures. Automation package, bot suite, 2 trading bots so far, setups, took 6% loss on path, 6% gain on algo. Those are closed. They're not live anymore. Those are old screenshots, but recorded coaching, there's 77 plus, I think 78 recorded coaching videos. The screener, so can find bullish or bearish setups for you. That's live. The AI is not live yet. We'll do the analysis based off of everything we've trained. The dashboard is live. The liquidity is live. The news alerts that you can actually click on the news alert and see a chart. And then also you can click and read the full article if you want. And we got more to come, right? We have more to come. I just posted an announcement in the Discord of coming soon. The next thing that's coming soon, I just posted in the Discord yesterday. So a lot of big things coming soon. So we're rolling them out. I said we've been rolling them out since the end of October. And here we are, not even 3 months later, we've rolled out a lot of the tools on my checklist. So this screener You could push it to trading view. Right? And you can see there's the sell signal on Flex shares. What is this? I don't even know what this is. I just found it on the screener. Flex shares ESG and climate US. Okay. I've never traded that in my life, but there's a lot of gaps over here. There's a lot of gaps. So similar pattern, but a lot more gaps. So caution on this is I've never traded it before. Caution on this is that with that many gaps, the fills might not be great because there might not be a lot of liquidity in it. So, but it found it. It found it, right? So, anyways, you can go back. You could also go back to this is just the app. Anyways, let me go portal. Where's the portal at? Oh, I'd have to log in, but I'm not going to log in right now. But anyways, this is just otherwise these green buttons will be there and you can do all the sniper assists. So with that, if you want to learn more information about the screener and all of that, I posted a video over here. It's about 12 minutes, walks you through the entire screener. Portal. This is the back end. Oops. And shows the portal, the dashboard, the liquidity, the recorded coaching, the news, setup, screener, intelligence coming soon, which is tied into the screener, which is going to be tied into all of this, right? It's all going to be tied in eventually. Eventually, not yet, eventually. So we have big plans for it. We're pretty excited about it. That's about it. So this one, Sidious, but let's go back over to Bitcoin, 89,750. That's where we're at right now. The Investors Academy. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yep. Let's help out your algo. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Live Bitcoin trading. Let's go, Marcus Cybers. Yep. West Diddy. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? That's about it. Let's see. Where are we at? An hour? Okay. SP 500 weekly chart also has bearish divergence, right? So the indicator is picking up bearish divergence. It's not picking up bearish divergence here, but that is bearish divergence as well. There's not bearish divergence on the NASDAQ weekly chart, but relative strength is leaving. Relative strength is increasing. Relative strength is decreasing. Relative strength is decreasing. Relative strength is increasing. Relative strength is decreasing. So is the top in? We don't have a magic crystal ball. At least a local top looks to be in, and it could be a larger the top is in. So which means to me that, a retracement, if it was just a local top, a retracement to maybe this area on SP 500, and if it's a bigger correction, then I would expect price to come back down to the 200-week moving average, like several other stocks have. So that's kind of what we're going to leave it with for Bitcoin and the indices. There are sell signals firing across BTC and the indices like the stock market. With that, thank you for all of your support. I appreciate all of you. Smash the like button, repost this, and we'll continue to sniper the markets together on the next live stream. Adios.